Greetings. Welcome to our e-learning module on strategic planning from the finance perspective, aligning mission, money, and long-term impact. In this session, we will explore how strategic planning and financial strategy work hand in hand to strengthen organizational sustainability and mission alignment. Strategic planning defines an organization's direction and sets measurable goals to achieve its mission. It connects vision, strategy, and resources, ensuring that financial and programmatic priorities move together toward impact. The strategic planning process typically includes assessing your current state, defining your mission and vision, setting goals, developing implementation plans, and monitoring progress. Each phase builds clarity and alignment across your organization. Strategic planning takes both time and teamwork. In Phase 1, we gather input from stakeholders, review data, and complete our analysis. This usually takes about 3 months. In Phase 2, we focus on developing goals, strategies, and key performance indicators, which usually takes another month or 2. Finally, Phase 3 involves finalizing, writing, and presenting the plan. Starting early helps keep momentum and engagement strong throughout the process. Begin by reviewing your organization's environment, strengths, and challenges. Analyze financial health, capacity, and market trends. Understanding your current position sets the foundation for effective strategy. Next, we will look at 4 methods of analysis you can use to guide that process. A SWOT analysis helps organizations understand where they stand by identifying internal strengths and weaknesses, along with external opportunities and threats. It's a simple yet powerful tool to guide strategic decisions and focus resources where they will make the greatest impact. A SCORE analysis helps organizations evaluate and plan through 5 key areas: strengths, challenges, options, responses, and effectiveness. It combines reflection with action, guiding teams to assess what's working, address obstacles, and choose strategies that deliver real results. A noise analysis helps organizations plan for improvement by examining needs, opportunities, improvements, strengths, and exceptions. It's a positive, action-oriented tool that highlights what's working, what can be better, and where to focus energy for meaningful change. A SOAR analysis focuses on what an organization does well and where it wants to grow. It looks at strengths, opportunities, aspirations, and results, encouraging a forward-looking, strengths-based approach to planning that inspires action and optimism. Organizations should choose a strategic analysis approach that best fits their culture, goals, and way of thinking about improvement. Revisit or refine your mission and vision to ensure they remain relevant. Strategic priorities should express how your organization will create meaningful, measurable change over the next 3 to 5 years. Translate your strategic priorities into clear, actionable goals. Use the SMART framework: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound to ensure accountability and progress tracking. Then assign ownership to specific people or teams. This slide shows an example of how to present your SMART goals. Each one is connected to clear objectives, assigned responsibilities, and defined activities, creating a focused roadmap for achieving your organization's mission. This slide shows 2 examples of SMART goals in action. The first focuses on acquiring new donors by setting clear targets for growth and tracking conversion data. The second improves internal communications through better collaboration tools and measurable staff feedback. Each example illustrates how specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals drive real progress. This slide highlights 2 additional SMART goal examples. The first focuses on launching a new educational program with clear targets for participants and funding. The second aims to recruit more volunteers through measurable engagement and outreach strategies. Both demonstrate how clear, time-bound planning turns ideas into achievable outcomes. An implementation plan connects strategy to action. Assign responsibilities, set timelines, and identify the financial and human resources needed to execute effectively. It serves as the roadmap that ensures every goal moves from intention to measurable progress. This slide shows an example of a simple action plan template. It outlines key steps, responsible teams, priorities, and deadlines, turning a strategic goal into a clear, trackable plan that keeps everyone accountable and on schedule. Strategic plans are living documents. Use key metrics to track progress, evaluate outcomes, and make adjustments as needed. Flexibility ensures continued alignment with changing realities. This slide presents an example of a one-page strategic plan. It summarizes the organization's vision and mission, outlines key objectives, and highlights the strategies and actions that bring the plan to life, all in a clear, concise format that keeps everyone focused on shared goals. This slide shows an example of a more detailed strategic plan organized around 5 key pillars: mission clarity, marketing and PR, financial sustainability, community engagement, and infrastructure and process. Together, these pillars provide a comprehensive framework for strengthening the organization and guiding long-term growth. Finance turns strategy into sustainable operations by aligning resources with mission goals. It supports planning through data, forecasting, and scenario testing, linking program goals to financial realities, and develops projections to assess long-term impact. By identifying funding gaps and modeling best, base, and worst-case scenarios, finance equips leaders to make informed, mission-aligned decisions. Financial strategy should flow directly from mission, so every dollar supports what matters most. Finance aligns resources with priorities to maximize impact, uses budgeting as a strategic tool, and evaluates both financial and social value. By integrating equity and access into every resource decision, finance ensures that strategy advances organizational values and community impact. Strategic goals come to life through the budget. Each decision should reflect priorities and connect spending to objectives. Annual budgets tie to a multi-year vision for sustainability, using flexible and scenario-based planning to stay mission-aligned. When program and finance teams plan together, budgets become realistic, ambitious tools for achieving long-term impact. Strong financial health enables bold, mission-driven action. Healthy reserves, liquidity, and margins create flexibility for innovation and growth while building resilience during economic shifts. A strong balance sheet builds funder and board confidence and allows strategic investments in people, infrastructure, and systems, signaling long-term stability and stewardship. Financial sustainability balances today's needs with tomorrow's growth. Ensure recurring revenue meets expenses, and use long-term projections to test goals. Diversify income to reduce dependency, and build reserves for future risks or investments. Regularly review cost structures and funding models to stay aligned with changing strategies and conditions. Diversifying revenue spreads risk and stabilizes income. Balance government, individual foundations, and earned sources to reduce dependency. Build adaptable models that adjust to change and align strategy with mission and capacity. Cultivate varied funder relationships and use data to monitor trends, spot vulnerabilities, and identify growth opportunities. Strategic plans should draw from diverse funding sources: individual and major donors, fee-for-service contracts, corporate gifts, grants, dues, and events. Also consider sponsorships, products, naming opportunities, passive income, in-kind donations, and shared infrastructure. A balanced mix builds flexibility, resilience, and long-term sustainability. Data turns information into strategic insight. Use financial and program data to align resources with outcomes and track progress through dashboards and key performance indicators. Leverage analytics for forecasting and scenario planning, include stakeholder feedback for context, and build a culture where teams collaborate to act on insights. Budgets should reflect cost structures, funding limits, and future needs. Involve staff and align spending with priorities. Include cost structure analysis, trend and scenario planning, and capital reserves to manage uncertainty. Strong budgets also address risk and create room to fund innovation and growth. Differentiate fixed and variable costs to see how expenses shift as programs evolve. Assess cost effectiveness to ensure resources drive impact, and identify major cost drivers and saving opportunities. Determine which costs are essential versus support-related, and model how activity changes affect forecasts and decisions. Trend analysis looks back. Scenario planning looks forward. Together, they anticipate risks and opportunities, helping organizations apply lessons from the past while preparing for multiple futures. Using both builds adaptability and confidence in decision-making under uncertainty. Capital planning maintains and improves facilities, systems, and technology to support growth. Set reserve targets for stability, include capital needs in multi-year budgets, and anticipate replacement cycles for key assets. Seek dedicated funding, like campaigns or board-designated reserves, to sustain innovation and impact. Strategic plans must anticipate risk. Identify financial threats such as funding volatility or donor loss, and build plans with reserves and diversified revenue. Conduct regular risk assessments, maintain crisis protocols for operations and communication, and engage leadership and the board in proactive oversight. Innovation requires intentional investment. Plan mission-aligned initiatives and use grants, loans, and reserves strategically. Conduct cost-benefit analysis to test sustainability, build phased funding plans for learning and scaling, and engage stakeholders early to secure diverse, supportive funding sources. Strategic budgeting aligns dollars with mission goals. It is where vision meets accountability. Design budgets that guide progress, create narratives that tell the story behind the numbers, and use financial documents as roadmaps to impact. Translate data into strategy and ensure each budget line reflects core priorities. Simplify financial information into clear insights that link numbers to mission. Use visuals and plain language to show how resources drive outcomes. Focus on what matters: sustainability, growth, and risk, and provide context for trends. Encourage dialogue to build understanding and trust around finances. A strong board finance partnership builds trust and good governance. Engage the board in strategy, not just compliance. Finance informs, the board guides and approves direction. Provide clear, timely data, involve members in key discussions, and strengthen financial literacy through ongoing education and participation. Equity belongs at the center of financial planning. Budget intentionally to reduce disparities and fund programs fairly. Use equity metrics in key performance indicators and reporting, engage diverse stakeholders in resource decisions, and review funding models regularly to remove barriers and promote inclusive, lasting impact. Avoid pitfalls like unrealistic planning, underestimated costs, or overprojected revenue. Communicate across departments to align priorities, and monitor cash flow and liquidity to stay stable. Update plans often and balance restricted with unrestricted funds to maintain flexibility and long-term strength. Use planning tools and build transparency and collaboration. Templates guide budgets and forecasts. Scenario models assess risk. Dashboards link financial and program data. Clear policies, shared platforms, and regular training help teams align on strategy and strengthen financial decision-making. Best practices include integrating financial planning with strategy, maintaining clear communication, and providing updates regularly. Engaging diverse voices, using data for decisions, and building strong cross-team partnerships. When finance aligns with mission, it becomes a true strategic asset, driving sustainable success. Strategic planning is both financial and mission-driven. When finance and strategy align, organizations act boldly, adapt quickly, and achieve lasting impact. Finance is a strategic asset. Planning for financial health enables collaboration, data-driven agility, and long-term success. Thank you for viewing this e-learning module. Have a wonderful day.